And we're live, I guess. Manic Vandals podcast number, was it 5? I lost count. Pretty sad because we're not even at 10 yet.
Yeah, I think it's
Was it
4.
5?
Is it not 4?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
We're awful.
I lost count. Yeah, pretty
I think
sad because we're not even at 10 yet.
Maybe it is 5.
I've
Yes,
been here for 3.
3. Wait,
And
really?
it probably is 5 then.
I think it's 5. I'm going to check. This is the quality content that we deliver on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
Uh,
Where else can you get this?
it's 4.
It's 4. I was right. Yeah, tell my wife. I
Yeah,
was
you
right
get
this
the
time.
you get the gold star for this episode.
I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, so I am the whatever self-proclaimed host of the podcast, Dave. With me, as always, are my partners in crime, Keith
Hello.
and Mike.
Hi.
Yes. So
More, sorry, too many Wayne's World references. I love it. Hi.
Well, yeah, it's like the only hosting experience I have, like a 25-year-old movie that I watched 1,000 times.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, the general topic of today is going to be, obviously Crimson Vow just came out, so
Yep.
we're going to I know we have a little bit to touch on as far as like historic, standard and limited, but probably a little more limited and standard. Historic's a little, static. So, yeah, so where do we want to start? Or some limited or standard?
I feel like because the set's so new, we can kind of touch on a little bit of everything. I mean, I can do my little limited spiel if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, hello. My name's Mike. Yeah, so I kind of focus on limited when it comes to Magic. That's always been. I know I've mentioned it in a previous podcast. I yeah, I like limited. I like sort of like cracking the code of like a new set, like just sort of trying to master every single element to it, all that type of thing. So with that said, I went pretty hard into Midnight Hunt. So I was definitely excited for this set, for sure. But I could sort of tell, like when a lot of the spoilers were coming out, it seemed like there were a lot of very powerful limited cards in this one. So I think the set's been out for about a week, like 4 or 5 days now. So it's pretty new. Um, it does seem like the main consensus of this set being a Prince format as opposed to a Pauper format, or Prince or Pauper format. It's all kind of true. Um, a lot of the 17 lands data has started coming out regarding the limited format, and a lot of people's sort of complaints about this set, or like qualms regarding this set, have sort of been proven true. Where this set, for example, has the strongest card in Midnight Hunt as far as like win rate when drawn was Adeline Resplendent Cather. And I think I don't remember what the number was. I think it was. Let me see what it is. It was a plus 11.2 win rate when drawn.
Wow.
So that was the strongest card in the set, like across all color pairs. Just overall.
Wow.
And that card was busted. Sorry, Keith.
No, that's fine. That's amazing. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. So in this set already, there's already 5 cards that are above that one. So it's Toxrill the Corrosive. There's a Helana and Elena partners. There's Henrika Damnathi, Avabruck Caretaker, and Dreadfast Demon. So all of those have over at least 1%. But there's actually about 5 other cards that are around Adeline's range also. So that sort of gives you like the general overview of how strong certain rares and mythics are in this set. So the set actually just feels very different because I feel like the drafting portion, it seemed like in the very beginning, like almost all the color pairs are viable, and in a sense they are. I think what the main difference is, and it's I don't want to call it a problem per se, but I feel like it kind of is when it comes to limited because it kind of makes you feel like nothing you ever do really feels correct, and I think that's one of the problems with some limited formats is that this one you can draft like an amazing synergistic deck of uncommons and commons, but if a certain rare comes down, it completely changes the complexion of the game, and it kind of makes like all your synergies, all your curve concerns, all your this and that, it kind of throws it all out the window. So in this set, it kind of feels like it seems like what the consensus is early, and I know formats always change, but this format seems to already be low curve based because of this. It seems like you draft aggressive decks, and then you keep yourself open to bombs. And then if you can splash them with any sort of reasonable capability, you do it. So it just feels like it feels like a very different set than the previous one, even though you kind of draft it sort of the same. It's just that in this one, the power level of certain cards are just so strong. You kind of have to switch gears very quickly in the draft portion. So I know Midnight Hunt, it started off blue black was the best color pair, and it was kind of like a very just strong mid-rangey value sort of deck. And a lot of people didn't like take Organ Hoarders early or Diregraph Hordes early or Ecstatic Awakeners early. Like this one kind of seems like people have sort of already adjusted to having a low curve deck because that's kind of the only way to beat the bombs in this set so far is to just outrace them or get under them.
Right.
And so it seems like based off the data, the 2 best color pairs by kind of a wide margin are it's red green is actually the strongest color pair, and then the second strongest, which it's pretty close, is it's red black. And both of those just have very low curve cards. Red does have great removal in this set, and actually some of it is exile based. I think it's actually their 1 mana burn spell is exiles. And then black also has the best removal spell probably in the set. It's actually the common. It's bleed dry because it's -13 until end of turn, and then it also exiles. So it gets around. There is a lot of indestructible, like pump spells like Adamant Will and stuff like that in this set. And there are
Right.
some cards that have indestructible. So it kind of all makes sense that those 2 pairs are the best because red green, it has a great pump spell. I forget the name of it right this second. It's like mammoth growth. I'm looking it up 2 seconds. Sorry, I sound stupid because it's a common pump spell and I should know it. Massive might. Massive might. So a lot of these decks are just based off of keeping the board clear early or just powering through what's on the board. Red does have a lot of great aggressive creatures. They have a decent amount of menace creatures. There's actually there's a 5 mana common. Again, I forget the name of it. I haven't played too many drafts, so I'm trying to find it. It's a 5 mana. I'm looking it up. I still don't see it.
Said it's red,
Yeah, it's a 5 mana
but
creature. It's 4/4 menace. And I think when it dies, it makes 2 blood tokens.
is it a common?
I think it's just a common, yeah.
Uh,
There it is. Falcon Wrath Celebrants. So when it enters the battlefield, it makes 2 blood tokens. It's just a 4/4 menace. It's kind of unassuming, but it seems to synergize well. Obviously, it's a vampire, so it's it synergizes in red black, pretty strong. But the menace creatures do really well with the cheap burn spells and the cheap pump spells because you can just get a lot of, you can get a lot of 2-for-1s. Like if you have a sure strike and you attack with this thing and they have to double block it because they got to get rid of it.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of has just good creatures all the way up and down the curve. One of the things I've noticed with this set for sure already, which is another one of those things that's kind of concerning because I feel like this set is sort of getting figured out quicker, is 2-drops seem to be hotly contested in all color pairs because I think people have kind of noticed you can't really dirtle around in this format. Like if you're the one dirtling and you're playing against somebody that's dirtling, you kind of have to assume that they have super strong bombs that are coming out at any second. There's been a lot of times where even I, in this early going, where I've known, like I'm trying to save my removal spells because I know there's something coming, and it
Right.
gets to the point where like you have to use it. Like you're playing a sort of a stalemate game where like you're letting their like 2/2 flyer like get chip damage, but then you're at like 6 life, and like you kind of know that there's a creature that's gonna just come down as soon as you use that removal spell that they're waiting for you to use.
Yeah.
And then it happens. So I've actually had that happen twice to me recently, where the Blood Vial Purveyor, which is another one of those just monster bombs.
I haven't
Um,
seen that yet.
it's a 2 and 2 black. It's a flying trample 5/6. So every time the opponent cast a spell, they create a blood token. So it's like, okay, cool, you get your blood token. That's like the drawback. But every time Blood Vial Purveyor attacks, for every blood token that the opponent has, the Purveyor gets +1/+0, and it's flying trample, and it's 4 mana. So
Dude, that's
it's a 5.
broken.
It is broken, and that's the thing. There's so many cards that are like that. Yeah, so it's a wild set. Like again, I know a lot of people don't like the format so far, and I mean I agree to a certain extent, but I don't want it to be like what makes me not try to figure out the set. Um, I trophied my first 2 drafts in this format. I think I started the day after it was released, and both of them were green white. Both of them were training based, and I did have bombs in it, but it's like I almost like didn't notice. Like it was more like I picked the open lane, and then like I had the rares like wedding announcement,
Mm.
the 2 white rare. Now I forget what that one's called, of course. Voice of the Blessed. Like I
Right.
had that. I had the board wipe by invitation only. And then in green, I'm juggling both of these trophy decks. I'm not sure which one was in which. In green, I had Cemetery.
Oh yeah, the
Well,
green one.
oh yeah, yeah, I forgot the name of that one again. Cemetery Prowler. So I had that in the first one, and then of course my pick one pack one of the first one was Avabra Caretaker.
Really?
Yeah, so that was So I had a nice little entry into Broken Bombs, and I actually only saw that card once during that whole game portion. But when I did have it, They scooped right afterwards because I think it kind of signaled the end of that player's chance. And
Right.
then there's a gold, green, white card, which is actually very strong. Tauren's Fist of the Angels. So
Yeah.
I had that one, and that card, every time you cast a creature spell, you made a 1/1 token with training. So it was just another snowbally card. So the point here is those first two drafts, I actually think it wasn't a good signal to me of what the format was going to be like, because I kind of just thought like, oh, I picked the two open colors and I had rares, but yeah, like I had broken rares. The wedding announcement card is absolutely broken too. For the first 3 turns, you're either drawing a card from it or you're getting a creature token, and then it becomes a anthem after the 3 turns. So yeah, so I actually have yet to have a trophy since then. I've done probably anywhere between 7 to 10 drafts, but definitely not more than 10. I probably still have a positive win rate, but obviously it's plummeted down from my initial 14-2.
Wow.
We'll see. It seems like you just got to draft with your eye open to the rares that you see early in packs 2 and 3. So that's pretty much that. But definitely early. Definitely seems like a lot of people don't like this set as much for drafting purposes, and I can see why, especially for casual players, where if they're doing like 1 draft a week or something,
Right.
it's so hard to feel like you're getting anywhere or figuring the set out, because it's like it's almost like sealed, where it's like you're kind of at the mercy of what you open. I mean, of course, yes. If you draft a bomb, like common and uncommon synergistic deck, like you are going to eke out a few more wins. But I think the idea of like trophying in this format feels much more luck based, than some other sets might, I guess. But of course, if you know how to draft this set, then you might actually have it easier, because you might be drafting heavy green pack 1 because you're always keeping in mind all of the mana creatures. You might draft some of the artifact like mana rocks, stuff like that, where like there is a strategy to the set. But I think in a purity standpoint, it doesn't feel as like nice as Midnight Hunt did so far.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Um,
So they do have mana dorks in this.
yes, actually, I'd actually say the mana fixing's better in this set than it was the last one. There's 2 in green that I know of. Again, I'm not good with the names yet. One of them is a Weaver of Blossoms, so that's actually the common. It's a werewolf, so it's a 3 mana 2/3, and you tap it to add 1 mana of any color.
Any color.
And
Yeah,
then
that's good.
yeah, and then there's a second one, and that one's an uncommon, and I'm trying to find it. It's a 1/2 for 2, and it's a 1/2 for 2. So I mean, it's already like a good like curve
Right.
piece. I'm trying to find it, and of course, I'm not. Oh, here it is. Okay, wow. Okay, so it's Reclusive Taxidermist. So
Yes.
it's a 1/2 for 2, 1 mana of any color, and if there's 4 or more creature cards in your graveyard, it's actually a 4/4. It's not a werewolf or anything. So there's that, and then there are a couple good mana rocks in this set too. So it's I'm trying to find that one. It's Foreboding Statue. So actually it's a pretty high pick. So on pick 1, pack 1 anonymous, it's actually pick 70. So this one is it's a 1/2. You add 1 mana of any color, you put an omen counter on it, and at the end of your end step, if there's 3 or more omen counters, it becomes a 5/5. So it's I'm having computer issues among everything else. So at the beginning, okay, and then so when it does change, at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, it just automatically adds 1 mana of any color. So it's a 5/5 creature. So it's a pretty strong card. So it's another one of those cards that I think you take early. It's a great 3-drop already because it's another mana creature, and it grows with the game. So
Yeah.
unlike Mystic Skull in Midnight Hunt, where you had to pay, I think it was 5 mana or 6 mana to change it to a 5/6
Right.
or a 6/5, whatever it was. This one, more or less, is free, and it's also uncommon. So, yeah, I feel like there's a way to crack this set, but I have not done it yet. But I'm not, I I figure I'm gonna keep trying until, I'm fed up, I suppose. So.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of ramp up to Ava, though, is what I mean, with all the other mana dorks and man lands and everything else. I mean, looks like there's ramp for Ava.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's yeah, I feel like, mulch is another one of those cards that I think if you're trying to go 3-color or splash bombs, that card's actually pretty strong. It's not a card that every deck wants because it's kind of like it doesn't ramp per se, but it fixes you, and it'll make sure that you don't miss land drops either.
Right.
So, yeah, I feel like this set is definitely supported to you know, play 3-color as far as like splashing like big bombs go. So it's like if you're in pack 2 or even pack 3 and you feel like you're kind of solid in 2 colors, I mean there are cards that you can put in your deck that will help you splash these bombs. And that's the other thing too. I mean honestly, in Midnight Hunt it got to the point where people were kind of getting a little more aggressive with their splashes, where like, you know, people, if they had 2 jack-o'-lanterns, like never mind even an evolving wilds or anything, I mean they would play that 3rd color bomb. And this
Really?
set kind of just feel, oh yeah, I feel like jack-o'-lanterns at the end of it, like, you kind of saw jack-o'-lanterns all the time, because now they did cost mana, like if you were hard casting them to get them to the point where you could just use them for mana. But if you had a lot of discard synergy and they were already in your graveyard, then they would just convert, whatever color you were missing from a mana into whatever mana you needed. Um,
Huh.
yeah, so like a lot of like disturb and flashback synergy, kind of base decks that would splash like all sorts of bombs. So like I feel like in this set, I feel like Midnight Hunt was kind of practice for like a crazier set like this one is. I feel like it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for a lot of people, myself included. But I kind of feel like I know what you're supposed to do. It's just a question of actually having that one draft where it all kind of clicks. Um, so, we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of my take on limited. And I know we did discuss a bunch of I think we discussed like 20 cards on
Yeah.
that previous podcast, and I know we like hinted at limited a lot, but like it was kind of standard based. But I feel like there's a lot of these cards that we may have, and more of me, I know that there's a lot of cards where I kind of thought maybe they're not that good and constructed, but it seems like this set actually just has a lot of very strong cards for constructed and limited and anything else. So, but yeah, maybe we'll get into that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my soliloquy is over.
Yeah. Hey, you're done. Well, I think
Yep.
for me, right now I'm hovering on Diamond 3. And it's what I've ran into, and I'll, as far as the new set is very limited. I haven't seen Chandra yet, though I know there are decks floating around with her in it. Um, but the only thing that I've really run into is the Voice of the Blessed, and I didn't pay enough attention to that, and it went indestructible, and that's basically game over because I didn't have any other removal for it. And then I think the Savior of Allenbrock. I ran into that card, and that card was in a very aggressive white deck, and they just ripped me to shreds with that. I mean, he just takes whatever defender you have, and if you can't remove him, you're done.
Yeah,
And I think the red card, the extra turn card, which one was that? What was the name of that?
Mm.
Alchemist Gambit.
Yes, the frickin' is it? Yes, it got played. Yeah, so they play Epiphany, right? And then two turns after that, they played that freaking card, and I lost it. So but pretty much, I mean, standard hasn't changed much, especially on the ladder where I'm at. I'm still running the mono green Stompy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I did change the package that I'm running in it. It's a little bit more um, you know, aggressive to the extent that the snake skins are back in it to protect what I do have and all of that. But yeah, it's running a little bit better. And but yeah, I think for standard, the only thing those are really the only ones I've seen that's filtered in to this point. But that doesn't mean that like I could see Ava making a big run. um, I take that back. There's that one blue creature I ran into twice, two different decks. He is the one that can bounce. What is he?
He can bounce. What's the mana cost?
It's like 7 or 8. He's a Hydra or
Oh
what?
yeah, it's Hull Breaker Behemoth or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Mm.
I have run in, and that card is
Hull
broken.
Breaker Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, and I have run into that. And oddly enough, I was playing one of my jank decks, and I have that stupid card in it. Yeah, the whole breaker horror. I had that stupid card in it that when it dies, and you'll have to forgive me because I'm horrible at card names, but I know what they are when I see the picture. But when it dies, it attaches itself to an opponent's creature, and then at the beginning of my upkeep, they have to sacrifice it, a permanent. Well, that was the only permanent they had. That's really the only reason the only way I got rid of it is 7/8, and that deck I was playing, my jank deck, it can't handle that. But that was the only way I got rid of it. They had to sack it. But yeah, it's that card's broken. I mean, it's 7 mana, but it's a 7/8, and is it can get to 7 mana pretty quick. So, and that was in an Is it deck, and it was nasty. So I lost I didn't lose to that one that time, but I ran into it twice. Ran into it another time and I lost to it. So if you can't handle a 7/8, you're in trouble. But yeah, I see what you're saying about the bombs. I mean, when that hits the board, it's trouble, you know, and it's
yeah,
flash, which is a 7 mana 7/8 flash that can't be countered.
yep,
Man.
yeah, yeah. There's yeah. I think I will be honest. I actually like when cards are broken and limited that actually translate to constructed. Like I find there's a lot of times when like a broken limited card doesn't make the cut in constructed, but it seems like a lot of these broken cards in limited actually do make it into constructed. So I always kind of like that because it's always like, oh, cool, one of the good guys made it in constructed. You know what I mean? So. At
Yeah.
least if it's broken and constructed also, I dislike it a little bit less. So
Yeah, well, that one will probably I don't know how to do for Dave, but yeah, it's in standard, and that's really it. I haven't seen, you would think you would see a lot of things to exploit. I know there's some exploit decks floating around out there, but I haven't ran into them yet. Not on ladder, and but other than that, I mean, I like the idea of exploit. If you're making zombies and you can just sack them, that's good. But I haven't made an exploit deck yet, and certainly haven't ran into it as far as to any degree. I have ran into vampires, um, and that deck is pesky. Um, I'm about even with the win loss on them. That wipe spell they got is nasty. If you're running mono white, I think when I did
Yep.
play. Yeah,
Mm.
when I did play them, he wiped me. And but that deck is good. It's I haven't made it yet. I've just gotta wait till I get enough rares to craft it. But yeah, but I am gonna make it, Dave. Don't you worry. The vampire will come back. So, but it is a good deck, and it's more fluid than I thought it would be. It's a lot going on with it, and it's pretty seamless. Bringing things out of the graveyard. The blood tokens. It's really good. I enjoy. It's a Listen, it's a deck I don't mind losing to. The Is It deck, it just kills me
Yeah.
when I lose to them. I mean, we all know. It's just it's happening, and you just and I'm playing Stompy, so I'm trying to get in there as fast as I can with as much damage as possible. Before they hit where they need to be, and that's why I do it. But yeah, that's that deck I do not mind losing to the vampire deck. It's fun to play against. So I look forward to crafting it and then doing that. Now one thing there's been a lot of chatter about, and I'm curious, Mike, if you ran into it yet, and David, I'm sure you're going to see this. And it's that daggone doll mate. What is it? The dollhouse.
Dollhouse of Horrors.
Yes. Have you ran into that yet?
Oh yeah, I've lost to that rare many times already.
Really?
I had it once, but I didn't really have a deck. Well, I shouldn't say that. I kind of just had a terrible variance stretch with that particular draft.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I've gone against it a few times where like it's one of those things where if like there are some modal removal spells in this set, like a braid. Like a braid can actually get rid of it.
Right.
Um, so like there are ways to deal with it, but if you don't deal with it, it just snowballs because it's like the first creature that they bring back. It's a 1/1. It doesn't mean much. When you do the second one, it's a 2/2, and then it just if you have three, it's a 3/3. Like they're all 3/3s, and then they're all 4/4s or all 5/5s. So it's kind of a card where like if you don't answer it, it does take over. But actually, compared to other rares, it's kind of slow, I guess, in limited. But
Yeah.
I'm sure in constructed, if you're doing like a lot of self mill stuff, I'm sure it's one of those things where it gets even stronger. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely yet another powerful card, and I think the fact that it's colorless, and I think you only pay one to tap, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it kind of just yeah, I mean it takes over and it takes over very easily. So
So
you know,
there's a deck. I've seen it. I haven't built it, and I saw it on. It's a net deck YouTube. But and I would like to give the guy credit, but I can't think of his name right now. But he built it using Scoot Swarm with it. Oh my gosh, dude, it's scary. So you bring you get your Scoot Swarm in the graveyard, and you just start drop a land, and all of a sudden it makes it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I think the
Huh.
only thing that can make it worse is what is that enchantment that comes in and gives +1/+1 or makes a new token?
Felidar Retreat.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that would make it work. If you combined all three of those, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
that's awful. Yeah, but no, I haven't ran into it yet, thank God. So, but it makes me want to have artifact removal just for the fear of. So, and best of one, you try to pack everything in on you
yeah,
that you can. But yeah, it's definitely a problem. I don't look forward
Yeah.
to running into it. But Dave,
yeah,
it'll probably I could see that card transferring over to your area. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that they can do something with.
Oh, yeah, I mean, in best of one, it's harder to have, like, sufficient answers for this kinda garbage.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it is.
yeah. This is the first I'm hearing about it, but there is, like, all the changeling stuff in the
Mhm.
older sets. So, uh Might be yeah, it might be worth looking into, but yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So
I didn't even think of it. Yeah, the
yeah.
changelings are in standard too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what good ones there are, but I know there are changelings.
Hmm.
I have to actually boot up Arena to pull it out.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. It's probably easier than the way I'm trying to search for cards.
Yeah, same here. I mean, you could just type in changeling and get it.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do that.
All right, you do that. So I
Yeah,
don't have my other monitor running right now. So,
yeah, it'll take me a second, um,
but yeah, I mean, with the changeling, I know that there are good ones. I can't think of it's the green one. That's a good one. And that would feed right into it. No, it's the artifact. What's the construct? You know what I'm talking about?
mm, I can like vaguely picture it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would type in construct because that I think is the
Yeah, it's
one I think.
it's taking like years since we wanted to hurry up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. But that's fine.
It's getting there. Right. uh,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too.
You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to get like a mic emoji for Mike and put it right over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, no, that's not it. I was thinking of Faceless Agent, but that's not it. Bloodline Pretender.
Yes, the Bloodline Pretender.
When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever another creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this guy. Huh.
Oh, it just goes on him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not that good then. He is a shapeshifter. So
Yeah. Hmm.
What set is that card from?
Kaldheim.
Oh, okay, that's.
but what
Oh,
hap
I see it now.
yeah, what happens if you get him now you've dealt with this Mike more than I have. So what happens if you get him in the graveyard and you make his token come out? Does he copy once he comes out? Multiple copies?
Are you talking about Bloodline? Or are you
Yes.
talking about?
I'm talking about
I never played this set in limited.
No, but
So
I'm talking about with the dollhouse. What when it comes out with dollhouse out of the graveyard, the token, it won't copy itself, right? It'll just be one token.
Oh yeah, it's just one token, but the idea is like a lot of times that card gets dropped like late game, where you already have like a ton of creatures in your graveyard, and it seems like it pairs best in decks where like you kind of want your creatures in the graveyard anyway, so like self mill or like a lot of times, even though it's kind of like a non-bow decks where like the creatures become enchantments too, because a lot of
Right.
times you might just have a deck where it's synergizing that you want them in the graveyard. um so it seems like I've come across this in a lot of like blue or black based decks. um and yeah, like exploit decks where you're sacking creatures, stuff like that.
Right.
Where you're getting extra value from them being in the graveyard already. So like, generally what happens is it gets to a point where like they have like three creatures that were incidentally in the graveyard, like that are now all 3/3s, and they all still have like their abilities and all that crap. And then it gets to the point where trading with creatures or like removing further creatures, you just know you're exponentially increasing the power of all the other ones that are on the board now.
Right.
So like, yeah, it kind of just gets to a point where like you just kind of know you lost. Like unless you can race it like in the air, generally that's kind of the only way. So
Yeah.
it's just a snowbally card.
Wow.
Uh,
And what would the skeletons? What is that enchantment? The skeleton, David? What is that? Or you might know it, Mike.
I don't know.
That would just kind of feed into it too, wouldn't it? No, that's zombies.
um,
Well, I'm trying to research.
Oh no, you're fine.
you mean the one that just came out in this set? The
Oh, persistent specimen.
No, not that one. This one's multicolored. I can't think of the name. It may not be skeletons, but it makes a zombie every
oh
turn.
oh do you mean Jadar?
No, not
The
Jadar. No,
so
I can't.
there's a card in this set. It's blue black. It's Skull Scab. That might not be the card you're talking about, but it is a card that seems to show up in every blue black deck I ever go against.
Really?
Yeah, Skull Scab is well, yeah, that's the one where it's a 2/2 and it's an island and swamp. Every time you exploit a non-creature, every time you exploit a non-token creature, it creates a 2/2 zombie token.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so that card's like the key card in blue black in limited. I don't know if that's the card you're talking about though.
From what I'm looking at, like probably the one he's talking about.
Yeah, that card's kind of what makes blue black sing in this format because you just have so many extra creatures to exploit if that card comes down early.
Right.
Yeah, I just had a blue black deck, and again, it was one of those examples where I started off 2-0 in that draft, and then I just went into a combination of variants where like I had a match where I had 11 cards left in my library, but I had drawn all of my lands, and like I would have not lost that match if I didn't have that level of variance. And then
Gosh.
just a couple other matches where like bombs came down, so I didn't really have a chance. But yeah, I mean Skull Scab clearly showed how powerful it was to me early. And yeah, so yeah, like when I saw Dollhouse of Horrors, it was in blue black decks, but I think it was thrown in like a red green deck the one time, where it's still just powerful because like you might just stop their initial onslaught, but then they just get extra gas from Dollhouse afterwards. So
Wow.
yeah.
It's so it's skeletal swarming. That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah, but that's all skeleton type creature.
yeah.
Wait, sorry, what's the
Oh
name of
yeah,
this card?
skeletal swarming. It's an AFR.
Oh, I got you.
Each skeleton you control is trample, attacks each combat if able, and gets +1/+3. Okay.
So yeah, but it's for skeletons you control. So every turn it's going to make a skeleton.
Yeah.
And then if someone blocks one, it makes two instead. So it replaces itself. And then for every skeleton you get it's plus X plus 0. If you had 10 skeletons, then they're 10 O's. They're all 10 O's. So I've
Yikes.
faced this card a few times. It's annoying.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but I was just like token got me going on about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess Scoot Swarm is probably the biggest outside of just like self mill. Scoot Swarm is probably the biggest threat to go along with that other card, that the dollhouse. That's scary. Because then they just start copying themselves and then getting, +1. Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you had mentioned earlier. It seems like standard might not have changed too much yet, but I feel like it seems like a lot of decks that already exist got pieces from this set.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not too many. I feel like white actually got a lot stronger, but I feel like it hasn't gotten figured out like what the best combination of cards are yet.
Right. Yeah,
Um, I
I definitely think. I think the Savior is better. I know someone might disagree with me, but I think it's better than the Cather, the brutal Cather. I like. I don't know. I just think it is.
oh, is that card started to show up now?
Yeah, I've seen the Savior. Yeah, and
Interesting.
yeah, with training and yeah, I was playing my Green Stompy and he waxed me. That.
Yeah.
It's like and I'm just amazed. And I know we've all been there, but it's like you look up in their hand and you're like, how many cards do you have, dude? When are you gonna quit cast this stuff? It's just so frustrating. And there's that, I've seen people run that enchantment that, if your life is increased, you get to draw an extra card on your upkeep, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, Cigar to Splendor.
yeah, yeah.
All the
So
toys are coming out now.
yeah. So I've ran into a few of those.
Yep.
But yeah, you're
It's
right. All the toys are coming out.
yep. I love it. So Dave, what do you think?
Um. Well, yeah. From my standard stuff, pretty much, pretty much matches what Keith was saying. Um. Yeah, that Soren Planeswalker. Uh. He's. I mean, I'm not. Did we talk about him last time?
I
Uh,
don't think they did.
I feel like I skipped it because I thought it was so shitty. But
Ah,
I might be wrong on that, but I feel like I looked at it and I was just like, oh, that's just like vampire shit. And it might be, but it's definitely better than I thought it was. Either way, uh,
yeah.
because just looking at it, it is like it does pretty much match what like a 4 mana planeswalker is supposed to do. Where like the plus is like sort of draw a card with whatever situation, and then the minus is it's either like a removal or create a token or something. So it's
Yeah.
it's actually pretty standard, but the fact that the token's a vampire and the it's like the +1. It's really not that bad, especially if you have like at least some supplemental life link or life gain. Uh, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So I would say that's uh I guess we'll see if vampires really like sticks around or if it's just like a an experiment at the moment. Uh
kind of like the
Yeah.
werewolves. You don't see them much.
yeah. Um but yeah, I would say it's better than I thought it was. Um the I guess for historic, see here, I have a couple just like example decks. Yeah, so Voice of the Blessed. He's people are definitely trying to use it. Uh, and a Johnny's Pride Mate was like being at least somewhat used.
Right.
Uh, so it's I would say I know I did say I expected it to at least be used, and it is. So I think as far as our prediction on that one is pretty on point. Um.
Yeah.
Next up, people are always trying like weird like combo shit in historic, and one is like the self mill shenanigans.
Yep.
Um. And there's a couple. Uh. What's the? Of course, there's like 60 individual cards here. I know a couple of them.
What card?
There was a. Am I way off, or wasn't there a? Isn't there a new card that gets uh you like search for a card in your library, or am I
Oh
like
yeah.
way
Is
off
that
here?
the Dark Bargain or something?
But there's a new. Wasn't there a new one that came out in Crimson Valve?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I can't.
The black card?
I think
I
so.
think so too.
Why am I having so much trouble here?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it also.
Demonic Bargain. Is that it?
Uh,
And then you
That's
got
probably
dig up with the cleave on it.
right.
oh, so am I just like way fucking off here?
Yeah, Demonic Bargain. That's funny. Demonic Bargain's like one of the last cards. And pick one, pack one. It's like all the way at the bottom. It's actually literally the last card. That's funny.
Nobody wants it.
Exile the top 13 cards of your library and then search your library for a card. Put that card to your
Yeah,
hand and shuffle.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, uh, people use cards like these to uh, search for a tainted pact. And since it's like 60 individual cards, tainted pact, you just self mill yourself and you win the game. I mean, that's the idea if you have Jace out. So, uh,
That makes sense.
yeah. So that's been floating around. Is it sort of? And Keith brought up that the Hull Breaker horror. People are definitely trying to shove that in places, which I'm sort of surprised about. It seems a little slow for historic, but it is one of those deals where if you catch someone with their pants down, I mean, they just can't do anything about it. So,
Right.
uh, so yeah, I can see that. Uh, but yeah, 7 mana is
Yeah,
an awful freaking lot.
it is. But if you
Uh,
can ramp to a dragon, you know what I mean?
yeah,
If you
that's
could ramp,
true. Um,
I mean, if you could ramp up to a dragon and get one turn, I mean, I don't know. I think
yeah,
they could do it. I think they could do it in 6 turns easy. At least 6 turns.
right.
Maybe even be able to do it in. I mean, black and red may be able to throw it. Well, black and red would that be an off color, but black and red can generate that kind of stuff too. So
Right. Um, Yeah, and that actually perfectly segues into the next deck, which is it's basically just like Big Red, but they
Mm,
use the new Chandra because she's essentially like a ramp card, uh, and her +1. Uh, I haven't seen that one, but I know Big Red was like a thing people were trying, and I mean, I would say it's like, I don't know, like C tier. So I don't know if this Chandra is like moving it up. I sort of doubt it, but um, I mean that's what happens. New set comes out, people blow all their wild cards, and then
yeah.
they sort of just fall back into whatever ends up like really working. Uh,
Mm,
so yeah, I mean in the games I've played, I was actually just playing uh my old Gruul deck, and uh besides like a couple games, I didn't see any cards from the new set.
really?
Yeah, I mean I would say the only card I actually saw was Voice of the Blessed. So yeah, I don't know if people are just holding on to their wild cards, waiting for some better information.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah. I
guess
think
like uh I mean the set just came out like last Friday or something, like
Yeah.
last Thursday or Friday. Yeah, so it's like there's uh besides Twitch, I mean there's not a whole lot of information out there yet. Like it seems like tournaments are like when you really start getting solid answers as to what the boogeyman is gonna be.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I did. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, the two most recent tournaments that are an MTG top 8 in standard, the Crokies won. So that one, 4 of the top 8s were White Weenie, and it seems like, as far as new cards go, I see Hopeful Initiate, which is that one drop that, I think Keith you had mentioned. It's the 1/2, and you can remove +2 2 +1/+1 counters, and it destroys an artifact.
Yes.
Um, so it seems like that one's showing up, but the other card that's just obviously showing up in all these White Weenie decks is Thalia, Garden of Thraben. So
Mm,
I'm sure that
yeah.
card's now just like an auto include in White Weenie. And then actually in the other standard tournament that happened after the Crokies won, International Stop 4, Red Bull Untapped, White Weenie actually got number 1 and 2 in
Really?
that one. So, yeah, so it's ahead of Izzet. Izzet was 3 and 4, and then White Weenie was also in the top 8. So
Well, don't
I
get
like,
this. Don't take this wrong, but I might have to get out my white weenie.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's my deck of choice. It always has been. So I always like seeing that. So that's good.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah, we gotta flop our white weenies right onto that card table.
that's right.
Yeah,
I don't know if flop's the word, but oh my
that's what we
goodness.
got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean just looking at these mono white deck lists, it's like a couple years ago, mono white, it was just very it was very slim pickings, but now it's just like every card in here is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm noticing is it seems like the decks aren't even really optimized, but it's more like they have options for any sort of meta. That's what it kind of looks like here.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, like the White Weenie that you're talking about, that was only for like a window of like one set. It was when Ravnica Allegiance was out. So it was like History of Benalia, and then like all of the whatever that ability was, like when you had 10 or more of a permanent if you had 10 or more permanents,
Oh, it's
City's
like
Blessing.
it's like Ascension or something.
Yeah. So like yeah, and so like that deck was kind of like exactly the only cards that were available. This
Yeah.
seems like there's like a ton of cards that that are options. So yeah, I I still use my white weenie deck in like the play game type, but I don't really do ranked, but maybe I'll actually start trying ranked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going by these numbers, yeah, and those tourney results,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely definitely earned its spot. Apparently, getting number one.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know if those are best of threes? I'm trying to.
I know Croaky's was a best of 3 single elimination because we were registered for that, and then when I realized you had to be logged in 90 minutes prior to 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I was like, nah,
Yeah. Uh,
I'm not doing it.
yeah, I sort of watched like the bits and pieces of it. It was actually it was over pretty early.
Yeah.
Like I think by like 2 our time, which is like Eastern. I think it was over by then.
Wow. Well, I'll give you, and no way am I bragging, but this is the green stompy that I'm running is 18-9.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Really
it's
Nice.
good.
a it's a 67% win rate, and that's on ladder. So I mean, um, that's pretty good overall. I'm at 59% win rate. That's I was screwing around with that Mardu best of one. I went 4-6 with it, and then I did throw together just a janky black red vampire deck, which went 1-0, and I quit playing it because I figured I'd used all my luck up. Not gonna put that thing back up.
Yeah.
but but yeah, yeah. I mean that's been my
Wait,
stomp.
in your green deck, did you put in any of the new cards?
No, I don't have any of the new cards. What makes a difference is the mammoth. I'm running the mammoth now, and an inscription of abundance. And, that that really makes a big difference. Those two cards.
You mean Kazandu Mammoth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um I don't know. I feel like I don't like that card.
Yeah,
uh
I don't either till I drop a land.
yeah, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
mean,
honestly,
go ahead.
no, I mean it's like I have it in my hand and I'm not happy to see it. You know what I'm saying? But when I get it on the field and I drop a land the next turn, yeah, I'm happy I had it.
Yeah.
Especially if I have Ranger class out. I mean, it's just yeah, it turns into a 6/6 on turn 4,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
I guess for me, I just don't like the card because I suck at the game. Because it does have like a lot of like uh it's like there's so many variables involved, and it's like if you do put it out, it's like do you sit on lands or do you keep them, you know? And
Yeah.
I feel like whatever decision I go with, it's always like the wrong one.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
yeah, I've been in that situation too, and it's like I always tell myself I'm not going to hold that. If that's my only land drop for a turn, then I'm going to let it as a land because that's the way I go. Because Croaky said that if you play a land every turn, you win.
and
But
if he
no,
says
I
it,
mean,
it has to be true.
it has to be true. That's right. So no, but yeah, I've been in that situation where like I need a land drop, and then I've got that in my hand, and I don't want to let it go, but you got to play the land,
Yeah.
and then you're right. I've been in that situation where you're ready to attack, and a 3/3 will get through, the next turn you might need the 5/5. What do you do? You know what I mean? I still lay the
Yeah.
land. I just play it. Yeah, so but yeah, I mean it's been doing well. But I might have to break out the white wing. I mean I've got them all built. I mean I've got like 3 or 4 different versions. I just don't have the new stuff in it. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like my
it seems like as far as new stuff, it seems like just Thalia is really the only new card that I'm seeing. The Hopeful Initiate I saw in a few of them, but it doesn't seem like it's a auto include. So I'm sure if you just have like 3 rare wild cards, you can get 3 Thalias in there, and then you'll be all
are they
set.
are they running Redain as well as Thalia?
Generally, it seems like these have 2 of them in each one. I see 2, 2. This one, there's 2 in the sideboard. I mean, it looks like that international stop. Obviously, because there's 15 sideboard cards, I'm assuming this was best of 3.
Yeah.
And then in the Crokies one, 2 Redain, 2 Redain in the sideboard, 3 Redain, 2 Redain. So yeah, it seems like they run those
Yeah.
for the most part. Now, I mean, best of 3 is a little bit different than best of 1, so mono green might be as strong in best of 1.
Yeah.
I feel like Redain doesn't really help the matchup with mono green all that much.
Yeah.
It
It
does
for
make
me.
those pest. Yeah, it'll help slow down those blizzard brawls though.
Yeah. Yeah. And
My
the
favorite card.
inscriptions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing better than seeing their creature highlighted than yours, and then indestructible fight, and then indestructible attack. Yeah, I love that. It's my favorite thing.
I do too. I love it when I'm doing it to somebody.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I love
Mike.
it. No, it's all right.
Yeah. I'm
It
sorry.
happened.
It does.
It
But
happened.
see, now White's got indestructible now too. So see?
Yeah, they got their own toys now.
Yeah.
So
um,
Yeah. But I was all happy. I thought I was gonna win the game. The last the when I don't know, I was going against White. And turn prior, I had dropped I cast the inscription for the full cost, the kicker. So I killed the thing he had blocking my mammoth, and then I took out something else at the same time. And then so the next turn, I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna clear the board again, do the same thing, take out his flyer. I was down to like 3 life. I'll take out his flyer and I'll win next match. And then when I targeted his flyer, he what is that kill spell? The 2 cost? The thought just left me. The white kill spell. What is it? Where
Fateful
exiled?
Absence.
Yeah, faithful absence. My mammoth. I was like, daggone. But
Yep.
hey, it's best of 1. You get it. So
Yeah. 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 Mono White has all the toys now. It's got removal. It's got card draw.
yeah, it's got
It's got
exile.
Yeah. It's got exile. It's got mana taxing. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah. And they
Let's
even
keep it
got
up.
the little shock too, didn't it? The
Yeah.
attacking. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if that'll make it in, but I wouldn't be opposed to running it. I mean, you never know if you could get that little 2/2 token from Ranger class before it gets the +1/+1 on it. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yep. Yeah, I love
um,
it.
so I was looking around at like some of those tournaments. There was a Hooglandia tournament yesterday. Um, and in the top 8 there was a Boros burn.
Hmm.
With like a bunch of cards I like hardly recognize. Like Rem Carolus, Bloodthirsty Adversary, Falconwrath Pitfighter, Cemetery Gatekeeper. And then it's just like a lot of random instants and sorceries that just like look like very mediocre. I mean, I guess like Play with Fire, Sacred Fire, Spikefield Hazard, uh, Reckless Impulse, Magic Missile, Royal Eruption. I mean, I guess I would do well against mono white, and that's probably why he took it. But
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of cards that I haven't really seen it constructed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Reckless Impulse is a good card, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Rem Carolus. If I can see how that card can make it in constructed if there is a good burn deck, only because it adds 1 damage to every burn spell you have. So, yeah, that one makes sense.
Interesting.
I like Bloodthirsty Adversary. That's a good card.
And then I'm not really sure why, but on MTGO, the most expensive card in the new set is Cemetery Gatekeeper.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 20. It's like 25. It's 26 ticks. Probably because it's a good card on curve in red, and then I'm sure the ability just adds sort of inevitability. Whenever a player plays a land or casts a spell, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, deals 2 damage to that player. So it's obviously one of those like symmetrical abilities where, like, if you're aggressive, I mean, their life total going down is obviously much more important than yours going down. So, but yeah, it's like significantly the most expensive in the new set.
Just so I don't say something really dumb, card type that's like creature or instant sorcery.
Yeah, I think so.
Vampire, human, right?
Well, those are creature types.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the basic card type, but I don't know if that part stacks or not. I haven't actually like noticed that part.
Here's the ruling on it. It says card types that can be exiled from a graveyard include artifact, creature, enchantment, land, planeswalker, instant sorcery, legendary basic, snow, or it says legendary basic and snow are super types, not card types. Human, equipment, and aura are subtypes, not card types.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So there we go. Look at me on the gatherer.
Yeah. Now we know.
Now we know. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a basic card type: artifact, creature, enchantment, land.
Yeah, so that's yeah, I can see that. I mean, for a 2-drop, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're playing blue and you say instant or sorcery,
right.
that.
Yeah, I mean
like
that's
jackpot.
Yeah, I mean that's like I don't know, like 4 damage on average, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds up.
It does. Well, you look at like is it turns. So they cast iteration and 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 then is it an iteration. I mean, on is it turns, they're probably tacking in some. If you have 2 of those out, yeah, they're going to get hammered.
Oh yeah, if those are stacking, yeah, those are probably really strong.
Yeah. And it doesn't say, some of the cards out of the Vial set say only once per turn. This is every turn, and as many times as they cast.
Yeah. Actually, this card would like for historic, like the cat garbage, because like if you just exile a creature, the cat stuff isn't as annoying.
Right.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I guess you'd be net gaining one. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it leeches for one. Like you lose one and they
yeah,
gain one, so I guess yeah, it becomes symmetrical again. Yeah, it seems pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and then and you can start exiling out. I mean, doubt you'd ever catch it, but yeah.
yeah,
If it had flash, that'd be awesome.
yeah, yeah. It'd be a $50 card if it had flash tacked onto it.
What? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's add it.
yeah, and I mean, Watsy never shies away from a nice $50 card. So,
Nope. Well, only if it's Simic do
yeah.
they put the $50 cards out. Yeah. Red they save like the $20 to $30 cards.
Yeah.
But that's good. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Um. Wow, we're actually only at an 15.
I don't believe it.
Um. So, what do we think? Should we wrap it up, or is there any other topics as far as the new set?
No, I don't know. I think that's up to you. Yeah, it seems like I feel like we'll get a little more information. I haven't been able to play too much, so I feel like I'll have more info soon enough. One thing that we do know now is I guess the Mythic Qualifier Championship tournament thing. It is traditional best of 3 draft. So I am Mythic on one of the accounts already. I started off at number 68, and that was, I don't know how many days ago that was, but as of now, I'm number, I think I'm like 233.
Wow.
Wait.
Checking it. So,
Sorry, hold on a second. The Mythic qualifier is draft.
yeah.
Uh.
So I feel like in limited, it's going to be hotly contested. Luckily, I got one in the bag already. I actually don't know if I'll get it twice this time.
Well, I would actually say if it's draft, I almost wouldn't even bother going for a second time, because that means I would have to do it, and I mean, it would,
Yeah.
like, I would, it would just be a disaster.
Well, it doesn't have to go at the same time, does it? I mean, he could draft. He could
Yeah,
draft
we
it.
could do it. We could do it at 2 different times.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
could
I'll still
draft.
I'll still try it, but I know also because this set feels a little bit harder, I don't want to like mow through your gems.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I'm an infinite player.
Oh yeah, we all
So
are.
Yeah.
yeah, we're all infinite. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually 241 now. So I was actually 211 earlier today. So I've dropped 30 today. So that doesn't really bode well. So I mean, it's fine. It's more like you just have to have like an amazing deck and just get lucky with like one win, and then you'll jump back up like 300 spots. But
Really? Wow.
if you lose that one, then you drop like 300 spots. So I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. If it is traditional best of 3 draft, it's gonna be Crimson Vow. So, I guess it's one of those things where if I don't have the set figured out anyway, I guess it was going to be a disaster in the draft portion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm number 241 now, so I feel like there's not that many days left. I feel like it's like 15 days left.
Yeah.
So like the pace. Yeah, see, mine doesn't actually tell me the number of days. Like that part disappeared for some reason.
Say it says
I
season.
think it just says it when it's like close, like when it's like 2 weeks or less.
Oh, okay.
So where does it? Yeah. It's
I
not
know it
telling
said
me
it in
on
the very
profile.
beginning.
Yeah.
It told me like in the very beginning, because it was like, oh, you have 22 days left. So maybe it picks and chooses like in that medium window. But yeah, I was at 68, so 241 now. So that doesn't really bode very well.
Yeah. Well, it
Uh,
doesn't bode well for me if I get it in best of 1 either.
Well, Mike will just have to play 3 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to draft
Yeah,
3.
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
providing I get there. I mean, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm almost a Diamond 2. So, yeah. So I hope to crack into Mythic this week, and then it's just to see what they're playing in Mythic. It always changes. So,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, and actually, speaking of which, we can just have like we don't have to just do this one Crimson Vow talk. It's like 2 weeks from now, everything we just said could be like completely different.
yeah.
So, uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we can definitely like just do like random checkups on like the state of the meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the limited meta is going to change pretty rapidly. Um, I don't know if it's going to necessarily change too much as far as the whole bomb thing, because I think the cards are too statically powerful. Where like I don't think drafting around what bombs you're going to open is going to change, but the best decks could change.
Right.
Um, So, like in the early going, it kind of seems like the decks that have been set are powerful, which ones aren't going to change too much
Yeah.
because of the speed of the format sort of already gearing towards hyper aggro.
Yeah,
So it
it
seems like
is.
that doesn't yeah, so it seems like that won't change because it seems like once it gets to the fast portion, that's kind of where it stays.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll be wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I don't miss what was that, the last format that rotated out that had that stupid card that let you go through your card, your deck. What was it? And put it out like 7 cards on the board. What was that card? Yeah, that grind of that game is where they just kept you off until they got that off,
What you
and
mean?
then once they got that off, it's pretty much the game.
You mean Bolas's Citadel?
Well, yeah, Bolster Citadel was one of them, but what's the other one? Ah, I hated that card. It really came on towards the late of the set. Thank God it wasn't in there.
Uh, you know what
I have to look.
set it was in?
It rotated out, so no, I don't know. I don't even remember it. I didn't have them, so it existed before I got into Arena. So I only had like a few of them, and they were gold cards, right? So they had no, they weren't gold colors, but every color had their own version of it. Kind of like the adversaries. What was it?
Do you mean Niv Mizzet?
No, no, can't think of it. I'll think of it, but I can pull it up later. But yeah, it was annoying, and I guess to go back to it, the grind of waiting for that to happen while they built up to, I think it was 8 mana. It was, and you knew what was coming. It's kind of the way I feel when I play Is It. So I'm happy for the burn, or not the burn, but the aggressive, the aggro games. Where
Yeah,
it's a race, and at least now you feel like you have a chance to get to them before um, they can get it to go off. That's
yeah,
that's what it like Mike said, you go under, and that's what I've been. I like that. I feel a little bit better. I don't like but it's all magic, right? I mean, those controlling magics, like being able to stave it off until they drop their bomb, and then you know that's part of it.
mm-hmm,
So
yeah.
I'm
Uh,
I'm trying to look at this that rotated out. I don't know. Maybe I can find it. But go ahead
yeah,
while I look for this.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, personally, I feel like Arena sort of like contributed to it. Just like I don't mind a grindy game, but when that's like when that's like the norm, I definitely my just general interest plummets very quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I would say like the only grindy card I didn't mind playing against was like that old Teferi, like Hero of Dominaria. Uh, that's an example of a card I
Mike
didn't.
laughed.
Yeah, I mean, just because like it wasn't like the game wasn't like over when he hit the battlefield, as opposed to like a Nissa or something. Uh, but yeah, it's like if you didn't have an answer like pretty quickly, uh, you know, you'd have to like figure it out. Uh,
I think you're the only person that's ever said they didn't mind going against that card.
well, it was the other one that was much more
Oh,
annoying.
three furry.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
even.
yeah.
I need to look that card up. I like forgot about that thing. Teferi. What was the name of that one? Whatever. I'll just
Uh,
tell you. Teferi 3
uh,
mana.
wasn't it like time something?
Yeah, Time Raveler.
Yeah, wait, what did that one do? It like made all of your spells like sorcery speed and like all of theirs like
Yeah.
flash. That's so dumb. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, not to go off too deep on a tangent, but yeah, those freaking passives were they were a real bummer.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, it's the ultimatums. That was it. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say between that and the Narset, uh, it's like people forgot about those all the time. Like even in like pro play, people would forget about that. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
well, I mean, the ultimatum was what, 3 colors? I thought it was, yeah, and it's probably hard to get that off in Historic, isn't it?
yeah, which you're talking about the one that was like green and black and blue.
Emergent, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you pull out 3 cards and you get to choose which one they get. And it was always that freaking enchantment, the blue enchantment that the saga.
Oh yeah, the Ikoria
Yeah.
Best the Sea God or something.
Is Ikoria, and it was the green trampler. What was his name?
Yeah.
Vorinclex.
Yeah, Vorinclex, and then it was always a planeswalker, and I can't remember which planeswalker it was. That was always your choice, you know.
Oh, was it like Lolith?
Was it Ugin?
It was Ugin. I think it was Ugin.
Of course, yeah, of course it
Yeah.
was.
So, so so you know, and you get a choice. You get to choose what they get. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
how do you want to lose?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know, and that's when I was playing that stupid oh, that deck I was playing, and it had answers for things like that. It just depended on what was in my hand, you know, and you know, if I could survive one turn after making a choice and they didn't get another ultimatum off, I'd usually win. But yeah, I sent you that deck list, David. I can't remember what oh, I run all kinds of crap in that thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a fun deck to play. Actually, it was a grindy deck, and I actually made Mythic with that. I didn't get ranked on it with that deck, but I made Mythic several times playing that deck. Crazy.
Mhm. Wait, which deck was this that you were playing?
Yeah, it was that white one.
Oh,
Uh,
the Doom Foretold.
yeah, the Doom Foretold deck.
Yeah.
I know I sent it to you, and you probably thought, "What kind of pile of trash is this?"
No, I saw that deck a decent amount of times.
Mm.
Uh, I would play Gruul a lot, and that deck would just like hose me.
Yeah,
Because Doom Foretold, that's like exactly the kind of. It's like if you're playing Doom Foretold, it's like Gruul is like the perfect deck to hit that with.
yeah,
So yeah, it's pretty annoying.
yeah. It was, and then you know you had the flash enchantments that you could cast on your upkeep. When somebody thinks they'd be like, "Oh, okay, the Doom Foretold's going
Mm.
away," Then I'd drop a flash enchantment on my upkeep, and they were probably like, "Oh my god."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then Yorion was
Yes.
a factor.
Oh yeah. How is it doing in historic? Is it anybody running it?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, I think it's really just Lurrus and Gigantha, and people only really use Gigantha as like a very it's just like a very distant afterthought when they just happen to be able to play it because the requirement for that one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Hmm.
Lurrus is the only one that's like people actively try and use it.
Yeah. Is that enchantment deck still around? The one that used Lurus and uh, the guy that would draw cards?
Oh, you mean just like yeah, that's definitely we played against that in the qualifier.
Really?
Did
Yeah.
he used Lurrus, right?
Yeah.
That's
Uh
an annoying deck. I hate that deck.
yeah, but we were we proved dominant over the nasty evil Azorius whatever pump up random 2 creatures to like
Yeah.
50/50.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're the champs.
Yeah, the undisputed best 2 wins, 3 losses, Mythic qualifier champs.
Hey, it's all about progress.
Yeah.
That's the most you won, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, by a lot actually.
Yeah,
So
we doubled our win rate with that one tournament.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what you call progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this qualifier will be interesting because uh Mike is actually pretty damn good at draft. So
Yeah, this is his wheelhouse.
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah,
Well, yeah. This format is, like I've been saying, it feels like a tougher one to crack. Like, I mean, even Midnight Hunt. I mean, on the final day, I was still like unsure about like what cards to take in like certain packs, like early type thing. But like, once you sort of see like, oh, like my color was open, or like, oh, like this top uncommon still in here, and it's like pick 8. It's probably a signal. Like this one, it feels harder so far, but we'll see.
yeah.
Like I might not make top 1200 in either one, but I'm the champ, so I will.
There you go. That's the attitude.
Yeah.
I want to see you draft in the
I
tournament. That's
yeah,
gonna be good.
I do think in limited, the staying top 1200 is going to be harder than normal because it's a limited qualifier.
Right.
So
Yeah.
because everybody will want to be in it in limited at least. So we'll see.
Yeah. So, but there are the guys that have grinded out to get the mythic and best of 1 or best of 3, and then and then they'll switch over and start drafting. You know, or
Yeah.
practice drafts. Yeah.
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 Although I mean that is interesting because I feel like if you do get into it, you'll probably like because it's like when it's like constructed, we usually go in with our pants down because we don't know what we're doing. But
Right.
I mean, I can't imagine you not being better than the 1,200 people coming from constructed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be more in our wheelhouse. I just think
Well, your
making
wheelhouse.
You're
right.
well. Yeah. He's saying team
Yeah.
language. That's team language.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think I think assuming that I stay in the top 1200 or get in the top 1200, like with a few days to go, where like you survive the rank decay,
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah.
be a good sign. But for now, I feel like this one's gonna be hard to actually either stay in the top 1200 or even get Mythic a second time. So we'll see. I got Mythic in this month before the new set came out, so
Right. Yeah.
um it's kind of like a whole different universe. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's kind of
Well,
off for me. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say if Quick Draft comes out, 2 weeks after, I believe. So Quick Draft, I actually I like playing because it gives you more um it gives you more leeway as far as like the draft portion goes, where like you get, even though like you don't want to spend like days like doing a draft or anything, like it does kind of give you a little more time to sit and look at the cards. And then also the one thing that Quick Draft does is that it's half the amount of gems. So I mean, as long as you figure out that meta, um, you just have more cracks at wins. So like I don't really care as much about the rewards. The rewards are clearly better in Premier because like if you get 4 wins in Premier, you pretty much get even. Especially when you take into account assuming you complete the rares of a set, then like the 4 or 5 packs you're getting, or the 3 packs. I mean that's like another 60 gems. So it's like you're almost even if you get 4 wins in Premier. Um, I think you need to be at 5 wins in, which is a pretty big jump in Quick Draft. But no, all it takes is like if you're in Diamond and you just go like on a streak of like 3, like 6 or 7 wins, you kind of just get into Mythic if you're in Diamond already. So on our secondary account, I think Dave's at like he's in Diamond 3, so we're pretty close. We're in striking distance if we just go on a hot streak.
Yeah, that's good. So,
Yeah.
I, I mean, the one thing I want to know is like I'd asked Dave today, but or sometime he didn't answer me. So they do bands right after the set comes out, right? So it's like the Monday following a set release.
Um. I'll look it up and I don't know. I sort of feel like uh I don't know. I'm definitely not the expert on this, but I feel like they sort of do them as needed, but sometimes they'll just have one and say, "Oh, well, nothing is getting banned."
Right. So they got
I mean, I see one here from a month ago.
yeah. So I'm wondering what's their next big tournament?
I think their like I think the big one was. Oh, are you just talking about like tournaments like we would be in?
No, I'm talking about the big one for the pros.
Oh, yeah, I think that just happened like a couple months. I might be
Oh
wrong,
yeah.
but I remember watching it.
Yeah, it was that one guy. I think he like 0-2'd in the draft portion, but then he went undefeated in the constructed or something.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
The
that was
Magic
fairly recently, I
Showcase
think.
2021. What is that?
I love it. This is all good stuff.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just wondering, like, look, I'm ready for something to get banned, and but I'm wondering when it's going to happen. That's all. I'm ready to see. I don't. Well, I don't think they would ban Epiphany, but it would be nice. But I don't know.
Well, apparently, White Weanie's the new bastard in town. So I don't know. We'll see. I
Yeah,
mean, it
but
would.
losing to them doesn't make me mad.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a difference between a fun loss and an agonizing loss.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like as far as bannings go with White Weenie, I feel like there's not like how we can tell with the deck list. I feel like there's no like one card that's like truly degenerative in it that kind of makes anything ban worthy. I feel like the card that would be like if I were to guess like what the closest ban worthy card would be in White Weenie, but it won't happen, would be like Redain. Because I
Yeah.
feel like Redain's kind of one of those cards where like, you know, but it's still contingent on people using snowlands. Like if people stop using snowlands, Redain becomes kind of worthless because then it's
Right.
just like a 2/3 flying vigilance.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
all the cards are just like dinky cards. Um, I guess Thalia, because that
Yeah.
card seems to be like the auto include already, but I feel like that's not the type of card that they ban. Like usually they ban cards that are like format warping.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like White Weenie's always it's kind of always been based on like a bunch of underpowered cards that somehow some way when you play them together like somehow like eke out wins. So
Yeah.
we'll
Well,
see.
and the only what is it? Is it iteration? That's the copy spell, right? Iteration.
Uh,
Galvanic iteration, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that. I mean, although I hate Epiphany, I think I hate the iteration worse because it it lets them, you know, copy a bounce spell. It lets them, you know what I mean? It's not limited to Epiphany, and it gets used all different ways. I
yeah.
think if there was going to be a ban, to me, I think that one would be the most unfair card there is.
Yeah. I mean, it
Uh,
all makes sense.
You know, if they're not going to get rid of the dragon, they could have got rid of it a long time ago. So the dragon's not a problem.
Oh yeah, Goldspan Dragon's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
um, they did
Everybody loves that
ban
card.
Nexus of Fate, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
they definitely banned that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of you know, like
Yeah, and it has flashback. You know, that's the thing. Iteration. You know, it's broken to begin with, but then it's got flashback. You know, so the flashbacks cost us manageable. It's only 3.
um, I don't know. I will say, and you guys are probably gonna be confused by this, but I feel like the card that I groan at the most, and if this is a card I'm groaning at the most in standard, it's really not that bad. But it's Luminarch Aspirant. It's just so fucking annoying. It's a
Somebody,
That's a
one
favorite card.
streamer, yeah, one streamer calls it Ass Pirate.
uh
Yeah, I love that card.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's like
I
the
love
it's
that
like
card too. I do too.
well yeah, no, say what you were gonna say about it, and then I'll give my not defense, but I'll just talk about why I like it so
well,
much.
yeah, I mean, I definitely understand it's not ban worthy by any means, but it's just like I don't know. Well, the other problem is I play Gruul so much. It's like this card, it'll just get something out of control like too not too quickly. It's reasonably quickly, but it's like I don't know. It's just like frustrating because it's like this the second it hits the board, it's like you're on that clock all of a sudden.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
I feel like that card is like the single-handed strongest card that White Weenies had like ever in my existence. Because it's kind of like an anthem, but it's like you pick and choose where its anthem goes, and it's like one of the few like forms of, it's not even card advantage, but it's like one of those few forms of like, I don't even know what you call it, but it's just like it's a card that like creates extra value in white, and I feel like white. I know it. Obviously, I'm sort of taking it for granted now because there are a lot of other strong creatures that are out all of a sudden, but I feel like it's sort of like that equalizer that sort of even makes White Weenie even have a chance. I feel like if
Right.
that card didn't exist, White Weenie would not be tier 1. Which,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, my defense is this. I mean, there's plenty of other cards out there that can nerf it. You know what I mean? I mean, it comes in a 1/1. If you catch it before the token goes on it, I mean, you could get rid of it really quick. But it takes the spotlight off itself very quickly. You know what I mean? Which is, if you only got one kill spell, what are you going to deal with? You're going to deal with that 3/3 that's going to be banging you every turn that you kill the aspiring on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's I see why you don't like it, David, because I don't like playing against it either. But yeah, but I love the card. I mean, I hate Meat Hook. Meat Hook is, ah,
Oh yeah.
that's an annoying card, but yeah, I love it. I mean, I think white is definitely, there's been a lot of love for white the past two sets, and that's good. I like it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
It's.
sure.
Let me. And again, I'm not saying this to say it's like ban worthy or anything. The thing I will say is it is like frustrating, and I think it's a fair claim. The fact that it's 2 mana, it's like if you're on the draw, so they play, they play a 1 drop, you put out a tapped land, and then they put in this thing. So all of a sudden they're pumping up their 1 drop, and you don't have fucking anything out, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it's like that particular situation.
yeah.
Just
That's how I felt against Fervent Champion too, Dave. And you like that card?
well, that card's fun.
Yeah,
No,
I
I mean
mean,
that card, yeah, it's
they did ban it.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely not a ban worthy card. It's just the particular decks I play. It's a very good matchup for it.
It is.
So
It is. It is a good.
Yeah,
yeah,
You gotta
that
run
that
Cinder
that
Plasm, David.
right. That's kind of the only card that kept it that kept white um having a decent chance against mono green for a while. I mean, it might have changed. I still feel like in best of one, I'm gonna assume mono green is still very strong against mono white. Um,
Yeah, it's 50
but
50.
Luminarch Aspirant's kind of like the only card that kept it anywhere close, because that
yeah,
that was the card that made it so you could get past the green removal spells. But
right,
you still had to draw properly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
um,
What makes the difference in the mono white, mono green matchups is the Spellbinder makes a difference. Uh,
yeah,
and the Sky Claves and then Portable Holes. I mean, if they get their hands on those before you can beat them down, then it's a problem. You're going to lose. But if they miss that Spellbinder on turn 3 or that Sky Clave on turn 3, you've got a chance.
yeah,
yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, that freaking Fervent Champion, man, that thing was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I mean that thing had its own uh set of issues. Like it was either a 1/1 first strike haste, or it was like the first one's a 1/1, but the second one is basically a 3/1.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's like uh so it's either like very mediocre, or it's just like ridiculously busted.
Yeah. And then you put it on that stupid what is it? The 2/1 creature, a 3/1 creature? Yeah, the 3/1 creature. That's a knight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rimrock Knight.
Yeah, Rimrock Knight. Put it on that, and that becomes a freaking 4/1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that card, Rimrock Knight.
Yeah, that's a good card. It's a good card.
Yeah, from
Adventure is definitely good.
Yeah,
yeah.
look at all these cards we have so much fun with.
I know. I know. That's right.
We love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Uh
Yeah, I loved mono red. I was broken in the last freaking broken
That's
in the
no, that's all
right.
right.
last rotation.
I know I've cursed like 50 times already, so that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it
And
happens.
yeah.
Yeah, I did see Croaky's tried current mono red standard, and yeah, it wasn't going too well.
Yeah.
Uh
I'm sure that was a cuss fest.
yeah. um
I was trying to go ahead.
oh he I wasn't paying too much attention, but at one point, he was, and he's right, but he was just going off on like why is it okay for a color to just be like non-existent? Uh, like it is, it's like I'm sure balancing cards is like really fucking hard, and it's easy for us to just like sit here and be like, well, why don't they just balance them better? But
Yeah.
uh, it does seem like they kind of go in like very large like ebbs and flows. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's almost like it makes you wonder if it's creator preference too. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean I'm sure that's part of it. Like I'm sure people got really tired of mono red being like it wasn't like the boogeyman, but it was definitely very prevalent.
oh yeah.
I mean, Bone Crusher Giant. I mean that card was like freaking everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
yeah,
yeah, maybe they figured it was time to give Mono White the stage for
Yeah. And
once.
Amber Cleave and
Yeah.
yeah, I remember sitting there. Oh my gosh, he's got 4 creatures on the board. Getting ready to happen.
oh yeah,
Happen. You're counting the
yeah.
mana and the creatures.
Oh, 2 mana Embercleave coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let me put it on my Anax.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you put it on Anax, like at worst it was like I mean at the absolute worst it was a 4/3 double strike with trample, but like obviously if you have the 4 creatures out, that must mean it's like an 8/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's game over.
Well,
Yep.
actually, the best part was when you were playing against like a red deck or like Gruul or something, and like they would attack with everything in a situation where it was like so fucking obvious that they had
Yeah.
an Embercleave.
Yeah. Yeah. They got 4/1/1s out there and they're attacking. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
they're just waiting to see which one you block. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
the crazy thing is that wasn't even like that was like that was like a normal deck in those times. It wasn't even that bad, which is
Uh-uh.
like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like you were just happy you weren't going against Winota,
Yeah. Yeah.
having the indestructible Blade Historian and Kenrith show up
Yep.
on a random swing with
Yeah.
like, whatever like non-human creatures they were swinging with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're on the
it's all
play
good
turn
times.
4, you're getting smashed in the face with everything, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean they would deal like 40 damage in a turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, or the turn 5 Agent of Treachery.
Yes. Oh, that card was awful.
Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's even better.
Yes. Yeah, so like an Embercleave. Oh, that's just like an uncommon in the compared to the rest of this shit.
Well, yeah, like any sort of like card that didn't like create like 6-for-1 card advantage was like fair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now
yeah, it's
one
all
thing I'm not seeing anymore is I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but the funometer at the end of matches. Have y'all been seeing that?
no. I think they got rid of that.
Yeah, they
They're
got
like,
rid of
oh yeah, we're seeing a little too many no's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just out of like spite, I would always do a frowny face if I lost.
Yeah. If I want to put a smiley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not having fun.
Yeah, I
This
need
isn't
to win
fun.
more, Watsy.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, they quit doing that because every time I play an Epiphany match, I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna put the fun meter up.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. No.
Yeah, now we just have to send them really mean tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey Morrow, fix your game.
Oh,
I'm
funny.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I saw that Mark Rosewater he reads the Reddit Magic Reddit page daily.
Does he really?
That's what he says. I mean, he probably doesn't. Probably reads it like once a month.
That's a month.
yeah.
I,
He
I
probably
don't see how I could read
he
that.
probably just sent that out. He probably just sent that out so that way people would be on better behavior on there. Oh, I really love this game.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's
Yeah,
the
I
name
love
of
it.
the Reddit Magic Arena, or is it just Magic?
I think it's Magic. Yeah, there's an Arena Reddit. There is a Magic Reddit. The one that I generally look at, but it actually feel like it's sort of slowed down because of Discord is the LR cast, the limited resources
Mm,
one.
right. Yeah, I was just thinking like the main one. It's Magic TCG.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least in our recent time of playing, I haven't been on here as like nearly as much, but from the very little I did look at it, it seems much more tame compared to how it used to be. So
Yeah.
if he is on there, I don't think he would get scared off too quickly. But
Yeah.
like I just remember, like that Omnath that was in, like, yeah, I mean people were just, I mean it was justified, but they were pretty relentless when that thing was like that card was like so obviously going to get banned that you actually use wild cards on it, so you get the wild cards back. Like
Yeah.
that's how like ridiculous and obvious it was.
Yeah. I told you about that pack I bought that had an Omnath and
Yeah,
I think it had like 2 planeswalkers in it or something. I got just
yeah,
crazy packs that time.
but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that sucker worth anything these days?
What is Omnath worth? I mean, he's
Yeah,
good.
that's Locus of Creation, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're getting at least $10 out of it.
Hey, I bought the pack almost. Yeah. So, so don't tell Miranda. That's what it's for.
Secret safe with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if
Omnath.
she finds out you're gonna have a yard sale this weekend, with all your cards splayed out.
That's what it would be.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be the ones that show up at 5 a.m. at the yard sale.
Yeah, like, how much for this
Somebody
box?
came and somebody came and they really were interested in your Magic cards. They offered me $50.
For the whole box. Can you believe it? Yeah.
Yeah, $50
Yep.
for these random paper squares. What a great
Yeah,
deal.
they said, don't worry, it's all junk in here.
Right. He must have his good stuff somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
I love
goodness.
it.
Yeah, I think the last time I went through some of the cards, and it's like I had a row of uncommons. Is it Raise the Deads? I think that is. Might have been
Mm,
it. I think I had like 10 of them, and they're like $5 a piece or something like that.
um,
Is that it?
Yeah.
I know
Uh,
the.
pr-
Oh, go
Is
ahead.
it? Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say the most expensive cards in Dave and I's collection. We have two of the real dual lands, but they're from revised, I think, so they're not like, alpha or anything. But we have two dual lands, so each one of those are like in the $200 to $300 range.
Oh, that's good.
And they're probably only they're the type of cards that are only ever gonna rise just because, they'll never actually print anything equally as good as those. So like Tundra. How much is Tundra nowadays?
Yeah, I don't know. No, it wasn't Raise the Deads. I don't know what they are.
Oh, a Tundra now is $570.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's not bad. And then the other one was Bayou, and I feel like Bayou was always one of like the worst ones. 580, well, maybe not. 583.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We
Yeah,
might have had unlimited and not revised. Let me see. I feel like we had revised, but it could be unlimited.
I'm sure it's whatever the cheapest one is. I can't imagine we.
Well, if it's unlimited, then that one's 1,300
yeah.
Tundra.
The prices have went up. I mean, everything's. I mean, you got to think, guys, that every year they get older.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's-
and ours looks like revised because the unlimited ones there's less text on them. Yeah, we
yeah,
definitely don't have. See, I thought revised came before unlimited, so I actually thought revised was worse, but maybe not.
yeah. And you look at the illustration too. That tells.
Yeah, there's revised. So revised was 94, and then unlimited is. Oh, see, yeah, unlimited actually was before. Unlimited was December 1st, 1993. Revised was April 1st, 94. So yeah. Yeah, see, revised, I remember like the booster packs and stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to have a box of those.
Yeah, I mean, having a box of any of these would be crazy right now.
Yeah.
And then fourth edition. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, when me and Dave, when we started playing, that was around when Fallen Empires
hmm I have a ton of
came
fallen
out.
pairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that was always the dud set.
Yeah.
We bought a lot of that. That was also when that Chronicles set
hmm
came out, where it was like the mix of Legends, Arabian Nights, The Dark.
Yep. I've got a ton of them too.
Yeah, because I remember we had a Nicole Bolas and a Chromium, so we always thought that those cards were cool because they were like Elder Dragons.
Oh yeah.
But I think Antiquities was the other one, yeah. Yeah, so whenever we went to the comic book store, if they ever had Chronicles, we were always pumped.
Oh yeah, because we got
But
our shitty Nicole Bolas,
yeah,
like the OG Nicole Bolas.
yep.
Whenever he damages an opponent, that opponent discards his or her entire hand. Ignore this ability if that opponent has no cards left in hand. During your upkeep, pay blue, black, and red, or sacrifice Nicole Bolas. All on a nice 8 mana 7/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so strong, so powerful. I don't think I've ever actually cast it like in a real game.
Yeah, the angel she was the bomb. Yeah. And the fallen angel, that wasn't a bad card, was it? Fallen angel?
I feel like that one was like all right. I forget what the
Interesting.
sacrifice a creature to give it +2/+1 until end of turn.
Oh, it's worth
I'm sure.
$1. Hey.
I'm sure back then it was strong. I always remember this card always seemed weaker than Sarah Angel and then Sengai or Vampire, so like, I
Yeah.
never like liked it.
Oh, it's a
But
5 cost. Good night. That sucks.
yeah, but maybe back then it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
My favorite, I feel like the strongest deck that we were able to like make using like our real cards was always the like mono black, like just like
Oh yeah.
discard like annihilation deck where we had like hypnotic specters. Like we had a playset of hypnotic specters. We had 4, we had 1,000 hymn to Torox from Fallen Empires. So we had 4 of those. Then we had a mind twist, which is like 1x, and then like the X is like how many cards the opponent has to discard. So like just having like a deck like that, I felt like I could almost beat any deck. That was the only deck that I could actually beat Dave's like Bloodbraid Elf like Gruul deck. Because like whatever like stupid white weenie deck that I had from that era into Shards of Alara was just like trash.
Yeah, that Blueberry deck sucks.
Yeah, I love that card. That's
I
probably my favorite
know.
Magic
That's a good
card.
deck. That's a good deck, Dave. I'm just messing with you.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we
Bloodbraid Elves.
yeah, me and Keith we've had our fair share of showdowns. Um,
Yeah.
I am I won't name drop, but me and Keith we played against somebody else, and
Yeah.
that janky ass Naya deck that I had actually beat uh uh what's the name of that deck? It's just like
Oh,
it's just Tron, I guess, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Urzatron.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh I don't think he had Urza in it. I think it was just like basic Tron. It had like Karn and Ugin. And I actually
Yeah.
beat him once. Like we played 3 games and I actually won one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh
And he also had that approach of the second sun deck too, remember? He had like 4 different win
oh
cons.
yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had all sorts of stuff and they were all like really good. Even his like janky deck was like really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he moved. I'll tell you that story later. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone. So
Oh, did he buy his mansion with his Magic card collection?
yeah, that was it. He
uh
did.
Nice.
he probably could have with his freaking collection.
Yeah, he probably could.
Uh yeah, I mean he had a set of Ugins, he had a set of Karns.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
his commander deck was pretty stacked.
Yeah, he had a good commander deck.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so I got I got my money's worth out of those Bloodbraid elves.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. He is in love with that deck.
yeah.
Yeah. His eyes lit up when
Yeah.
he was playing Dave.
Oh yeah, he was, and the fact that I won a game, I could tell he was like, he really wanted to play me again. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I won the first game, and at that point he was like, he's like, all right, I can't lose to this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I've never lost to a Bloodbraid Elf in my entire life.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
deck.
7,000-0.
Yeah. Well, actually, and this is even worse. I remember I won because of that terrible card. It was like Narisi's Twin Claws. Because I pumped it up with a Colossal Might. It was like the jankiest thing ever, and I actually beat a Karn deck with it.
Oh, the classic Marisi's Twin Claws. What is it like? What was that card? Like two, like a green and then like a red or a white or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 2/4 double strike.
Right, Marisi's Twin Claws. There it is.
Yeah, but I pumped it with a Colossal Might, so it did 12 damage, I guess.
Oh, nice 12 damage trample. Yeah, it's a 2, and then it's a hybrid mountain, plains, and a forest. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess case in point, Watsy needs to hurry up and get a Bloodbraid Elf into Arena.
There you go. I would craft those.
Yeah. I'm sure they would up tune them to rares, because apparently they're doing
Oh,
it
yeah.
now, which is kind of a bummer, but yeah, I would definitely craft those the day they show up. So
Yeah. What? I mean, could you run those in the Winota?
Oh, if they're elves, yeah, you would probably run those automatically.
Yeah. I don't think Winota's an elf though. Yeah, but
well, wait, how would that work?
You would
Putting
probably well, these have haste, so you'd probably just play them for like just extra card advantage. Like, yeah, I don't think they synergize all that well, but I just feel like it would be an extra trigger for Winota when Winota did come down finally.
oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh no, yeah, that's an elf. So it would trigger for a Winota. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
human. Yeah.
yeah. So it would just give Winota when they came down the turn after, it would just give them like an extra, like, you know, X number of creatures that would
yeah.
add more triggers. You would probably just mill yourself with so many creatures out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. All right. What do you think? Should we wrap it up here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, the reminiscing's over.
Yeah. It's bedtime, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. So yeah, another successful podcast in the books. I don't know. I don't know if anybody. Some people might be watching the stream. So if you did, thanks for hanging out, listening to our fucking random ramblings. So yeah, that's podcast number 4, and until next time, we will see you later.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Yep. Check us out on YouTube.